Our guest today is used to covering breaking news and big stories out of Washington, D.C. CNN national correspondent René Marsh. She's also my sister. And today she joins me to share a very different story, one that's geared towards kids and helping them through some of life's big challenges and changes. Her brand new children's book is available now, The Nature of Change. Welcome in, René.
Thanks for having me, Michelle.
Of course. First of all, congratulations. The entire family is very proud of you. Tell us a little bit about what inspired you to write this book.
Yeah, so the inspiration came from my own personal hardships, but never could I have imagined that this book would be so timely and such a book for now. I mean, this is a book at its core about navigating big change, and many times it's change that is unwanted change. And we all know, covering the news, that life literally is changing by the moment, and it can be overwhelming for anyone. So if it's overwhelming for the parents, just imagine what it's like for children. And so I hope that this book will be a space where it will help parents as a tool to help them navigate the big changes happening in their life. The unwanted change that I was experiencing when I came up with this idea, as you know, the loss of my son, your nephew Blake, to pediatric brain cancer. And after losing Blake, I found myself outside and in nature, just sitting in the backyard. I was pretty much paralyzed by my grief, and that paralysis helped me to see and receive messages from nature, whether it was the trees losing it all in the fall, losing everything down to its bare limbs, but yet there it stood, standing tall. And those were the sort of profound messages that were my inspiration into those difficult during that difficult moment. And I wanted to put those sort of messages in a book for the younger generation.
And how did you come up with digestible ways? Because those are some difficult concepts for young kids to really comprehend. But you seem to have found a really good way of making it relatable even for young readers.
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea within this book is using nature as a metaphor for all of these abstract concepts like hope, resilience, and determination. Those are difficult things to break down to a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. And so we tell children what those concepts are through the metaphor of nature, whether it's the spider that's rebuilding its web over and over and over again. That in itself is resilience, and that is something that a child can grasp. And really what my goal is, you know, when I was going through my grief with Blake, I thought, this is very difficult. What can we do to better prepare younger generations, younger kids for the hardships that, look, life guarantees. And so this book really is about a starting point for raising mentally strong kids with that sort of mental grit, that they do not fall apart and break apart at the moment things change in a way that they didn't want.
And I know you've described it as somewhat of a muscle. So if you develop this muscle early on in childhood, as you age and deal with big challenges in life, you'll be better prepared. And René, I know this is your second children's book. The Miracle Workers was the first, and there's a charitable component to this book. Share with us some of that information.
Right, so The Miracle Workers was my first time venturing into this space as a children's author, and I self-published that book. I gave 100% of the proceeds to pediatric brain cancer research, because when I walked that journey, I realized the disparity that pediatric cancer research faces. I mean, they just get a sliver of the research dollars that are actually needed. And so I did that, and with this book I donated 14%, and not self-published, but gave 14% of my advance to pediatric brain tumor research through the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation. I chose 14 because that's Blake's number. His birthday is just days away on March 14th, and so I took what I call the 14% pledge, sewing back into this monster of a problem that I hope, through one story at a time, not only inspires but also tries to solve what is a big problem, which is no child should be diagnosed with a disease for which there's not adequate research or even a cure.
Okay. Renee, where can folks buy the book and get more information?
This book is available wherever books are found, and you can find out more about other projects I'm working on renemarsh.com.
Awesome. Thank you, sis, for coming in. And even my 2-year-old, he's too young to understand the concepts, but the illustrations are really beautiful. Thank you again, Renee. Yep.